Flipping sheep. Just had this lorry turn up, so it's come here for milling oats. And it's just been at my cousin Crawford as well, dropping off lime, and he's had a nightmare trying to get it cleaned out. He just sent me a video, here it is.
Hope you like your lorry nice and clean, because what the the hassle I've had getting it clean for you. Pressure washer didn't work.
Let's load one lorry of oats. I think this is bucket number 6, but I'm absolutely hopeless at keeping count of buckets. Turns out it wasn't this lorry that's coming from my cousin's, but there's another one on its way. Because it's oats, they're really not very dense, so they take up most of the volume of the trailer, so they'll be kicking out the top. So they're easily spilt. Shouldn't be too far away. The back's full, the front's full, wee bucket in the middle. Scrap that, we are full. Don't need a bucket in the middle. Load done. Next one's on its way. Breakfast time at the zoo. Lorry number 2's here. We'll get it loaded. That's the lorry that's just been at my cousin's. Washed out. And there's guys here trying to lay optic fibre, and they're looking for water pipes, and I'll need to get back to them once I load this. Dad's away, brothers are away, so I'll need to go and see them and hopefully not hit any water pipes when they're laying optic fibre optic, whatever you want to call it. I've got a weigh scale in front of me here, shooting for a 29 tonne. Beast. Save giving them a cloup on the head. Job done. We've got a bit of a leak in the water trough here and I can't find out where it is. I might get in tomorrow or the next day and just clear all dung out of here and get in about that trough and just don't know what's wrong with it. I've looked in about it and I just cannot see where it's leaking from at all. It's not flooding out, there's still plenty dry bedding for the cattle. It's not like they're swimming in water. But around about the trough it's pretty wet and soggy, so I need to get that looked at ASAP. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, boy? You gonna round them up, pal? Oh? Yeah. Bloody sheep! They're about to walk through the bit I made an attempt at fixing yesterday. That's how stock-proof my fencing is. Oop, there's some fart going on. Is that a John Deere? Murray machinery, stone grape on the front, and is that a KV spreader on the back? I think so. Where are you going? Oh no, 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 no. Oh, there's another hole. I play up to it a wee bit. They're not awful, but moments like this, I despise sheep. I think I'm just going to go and get some Rylock from there to there. Ah, yeah, flipping things. There they go, off into the distance. They'll be back in about 30 minutes. Under that bit, right in there, through there, into the wheat. We'll just have to pretend we graze the wheat now as a form of pesticide management. This cow's not far away at all. You can see the ligaments have dropped in there, so she'll be today. The rest of them, no action. Just going to shift her next door. Let her calve onto the fresh bedding. The wee creche needs to start getting bigger now. Slowly I'll just shift the gates out. I'll add on to that straight bit that way. But obviously I need to use this trough because it's the only trough in here, so it needs to split down the middle. Although last year I did put a makeshift trough in that corner, which after maybe like 15 have calved. I will then put a trough in that far corner and I'll split the shed in two. Right, guys who are putting in optic fibre have started digging holes. There's a water pipe there and some electric. They've got this molar machine, which is that rod, which basically hammers its way under the road, so you don't need to dig up the road, which is good. My brother and dad have been kind of liaising with these guys and sorting everything out. I've kind of had nothing to do with it, but dad's away, Fug's away, so I've had to have something to do with it. Stone graping. Need to fill these two ends with concrete. So cowped up on its end. Gonna weld that channel on there just so it stays upright, so it's not gonna cowp and squash anyone, because it is a good weight in that. MIG welder over there is still goosed, so back to the old stick. Come on. So quickly just stick weld that seam along there and I'll keep that upright. There's some dodgy stick welds. The forklift's not touching it, by the way, that's a bit of wood. There we go, not going anywhere. Now I can fill these two columns full with concrete. There's a lorry just arrived for wheat this time. The third lorry of the day, didn't even have a clue there was any coming first thing this morning. It's quite nice actually getting rid of some wheat. Not that there's loads to go or loads sold, but make a bit of a dent. There goes the sheet, electric sheet, gone. Big red French and Sons lorry. Oh, you bandit. This lorry driver, he's not too keen on a brush. To be fair, the French lorries, none of them ever get out of a cab. Don't know if it's company policy, but I've not seen a single one out of a cab before. I should put a wee whiteboard up in this shed and make a note of all the different lorry companies that come in and rate their drivers, whether they sweep or not. And then after a season, we'll know which lorry company is the best. That's that, French lorry, in and out, job done. Got my line. And we've got a whiteboard over here actually. Where's the pen? Here's a pen. Let's start a tally. Any lorries that I load, I'll rank them out of 10 and we'll get an average for all the different companies, and then we'll have the best lorry company going about these parts. First up is the French brand. Well, we had a Mackey's lorry in earlier as well. I'm going to rate them out on 10 on sweeping, chat, faffing about, and their driving. So if they don't sweep, they get a 0, and then otherwise they get a rating on how well they've swept. Mackey's didn't sweep, French didn't sweep. McWilliam, he actually offered, but I said don't bother because there wasn't much, so we'll give him a 5, somewhere in the middle because he offered. Mackey's decent chat, French didn't get out his lorry, 0. McWilliam, a wee bit, we'll give McWilliam a 5 there. French are coming in at last at 18. Mackey's second, 23 points out of 40, and McWilliam 24 out of 40. I'm a harsh critic. I'll make a bigger board, but I quite like this idea, the lorry leaderboard. There's 2 scores there for driving, 8 out of 10. They won't get 10s because they didn't have to do any like manoeuvring, they just reverse straight there and that was it. They didn't need to go through any doors, so to get a 10 you need to go through doorways and really show off some skills. Here's a wonky post, someone's had a nudge of that. Oh, I think it's snapped. I need to come and replace that. Right, we're back to dig some more holes. There's a frog. Can you tell which is the frog, which is the stone? Heavy on the learning curve right now. Definitely improving. This is the most recent bit I've done. Starting to look slightly less rubbish. This ditch isn't drastically needing cleaned out at all. It's actually not that bad. It's just the closest thing to go and sit in that for a few hours and just get used to it before we get to a job that actually needs done and can't actually do anything because I don't know how to use the damn thing. Job done. That's another few hours experience. And just for full clarity, this is the good end. Don't need to worry about showing you the bad end. I've got from there to that corner to finish here. Whereas the ditch does go further down, so. Depending on what's happening, I might just keep going a bit. I'm just topping off the feeders for the cows with silage, and I've noticed crack in there. Ah, this is going to need to go to the workshop to get some TLC.
Go again.
Cheers for watching. See you tomorrow. Like the video as well, please. Go on.